Hey y'all, it's the absolute nobody finally coming at you with another video. I don't do collaborations, I'm not affiliated with anybody, and my only sponsor is Merch for Nobody, my very own brand, which dares you to be bold, make a statement, and wear our merch for nobody but yourself. The family here is pretty small and very much appreciated, so if you manage to find us and you're new here, thank you so much. I hope you like what you see and decide to stick around. Before we get started, I have to add that everything I do and say here is based off of my experience and my preference alone. I am not trying to persuade you to do or not do anything I say or do. I'm just a nobody. You can make up your own mind. Because of the nature of this video, I do have to add that I am not a professional, nor have I ever been a professional hairstylist or hairdresser. This video is intended for entertainment purposes only, and it is not intended to be a tutorial. I am just sharing my experience and the tools that I use to do my hair. If you should attempt to do this on your own, please be aware that professional hair cutting tools are sharp, so use them with care. And even though my videos are not intended for minors, I do have to add, if you are a minor, under no circumstances should you attempt this at home on your own. At the very least, please, please, please seek the guidance of an adult. Okay, so I'm always talking about how I want to explore new things around here and not just review makeup. So today I am switching gears and I have decided to give myself a haircut. It should be a triple threat to all you DIY haircut enthusiasts out there, because not only am I on my gray journey, but I am also on my nurture your curl back to health journey. So that means that I'm probably going to get rid of a lot of this stuff, because I am looking to not only, just get rid of the old dead color, because yeah, all of this is color processed hair, and it's damaged, even though I've given myself trims and cuts along the way since I started deciding to let my hair just go gray. You have to understand, I started going gray when I was 18 years old, so I have been coloring and processing my hair for a really long time. A really long time. So I'm just gonna get rid of all this dead weight and all this old processed hair. Not all of it, but a lot of it. Also, I'm looking to give myself some lift. I want my curls, to be more defined. I want to give them, some individual freedom to kind of be themselves. And since it's, spring, summer, I really want to be bold and give myself something new for the season, something a little bit shorter, way rounder, and, fun. Beyond that, there is definitely going to be an element of suspense here, because even though I've done my own haircuts before and I'm really not too scared, I guess, I've never done it quite like this before, so there is, an element of, will she fuck it up? So what I'm doing today is actually a take on a cut that I stumbled upon by Paulino, and I will link that video below. The sectioning and the way that I make my cuts relies heavily on the technique used in his video, and I don't know if it's his technique, but that's where I saw it first, and again, I will link that below. Fair warning, the video is completely in Spanish, but the visuals are great, so if you're good at taking away information from visual aids, it's a great video. I will also be incorporating a combination of techniques that I've, observed over the years from sources like Mell and Eric and Free Salon Education and Brad Mondo. I will link all of their channels below, and even a few videos where I've gathered some useful information. Also, this cut is for curly hair. I've only ever seen it on curly hair. I cannot guarantee you how it will turn out if you don't already have some kind of natural curl or wave texture to your hair. Okay, so my hair is washed and conditioned, and I also have a bottle of water with some leave-in conditioner mixed in because I want my hair to have slip so my cutting shears glide with ease when I make my cuts. And the first thing I want to do is cut some length off of the parameter in the back, and it's ideal to have help for this part, but I'm DIYing this one, so I'm going to use a workaround of sorts. I am parting my hair down the center as evenly as possible. Perfection isn't necessary for the part, just as evenly as possible. And honestly, the most nerve-wracking part about this is that I normally cut my hair in my 3-ways so I can have a swivel, or so that I can swivel the side mirrors to bounce off of each other. And here I am relying solely on my camera display and a makeup mirror. So once my hair is parted, I'm going to pull both sides forward and comb them as evenly as I can. And I check my length by ensuring both sides rest at the same point on either side of my chest. And again, I am using professional cutting shears. I am not advocating anyone cut their hair on their own, but if you do, using the right tools for the job is a must. Professional shears are extremely sharp and give you the best overall result, and they will not damage your hair. So what I want to do is make this first cut at a 45-degree angle while also pulling the section across the front of my body from my right side to my left side. And doing this should cause the back of my hair to be rounded off when it's down and resting, rather than resting at a V. And this is a tip I learned from Mains by Mell. And this first cut is so insignificant, you can't even see it on camera. And honestly, it's smarter to cut less at a time. You can always cut more. You can't glue it back though if you take too much. And so I'm coming up to the part of the section that fell out and using the first cut as a guide. I cut the remaining ends of the section at the same angle and direction as I made the first cut. So you can see how it creates a nice, even, angled edge kind of swept away from my face. And these ends down here, they're a bit fried, so I'm just going to snip these off and clean it up, cutting at the same angle. I'll do this a few times. And then I'm going to repeat this cut on the other side the same way I did the last And I'm going to bring this section across the left to the right. I'm going to use the same technique to see how even it is, and this is clearly a little off, but I'm going to fix it. Pretty happy with this so far, so now I'm going to move on to sectioning the layers. So my hair is all sectioned out, which is the most important part because this is going to determine the all over shape of my layers and the direction. People have done full ponytails and pigtails and all kinds of sectioning. I have divided the hair into 4 quadrants. So this is going to be the front quadrant, and it's sectioned into 4 parts. Then the top quadrant also sectioned into 4 parts. And I'm just showing you the division between the quadrants there. And this is what I'm going to call the mid quadrant. Again, sectioned into 4 parts. And this is the bottom quadrant. And it's just all pulled back and down and kind of out of the way. Because really, we're not going to do a whole lot to this. Outside of just kind of clipping it to make it even with the rest of the cut. After everything is said and done. And now these sections are all pulled and lifted in the direction that I want to make the cuts. And I took my time parting them and doing my best not to twist or overstress the hair as I put them in the hair ties. So what's different besides sectioning of this is that I'm going to work from the mid quadrant forward. So then it's going to go the mid quadrant, and I'm going to cut that at a 45-degree angle. Then I'm going to go the top quadrant, and it's going to cut straight up at 90 degrees. I'm going to cut it straight up at 90 degrees. And then the front quadrant, I'm going to cut 45 degrees in the opposite direction from the direction I go with the mid quadrant. And obviously the back gets saved for last because it's cut straight down. It's really just trimmed as desired in the end. So I'm actually going to take the elastic out of my hair before making my cut The idea was to relax my curls before making my cuts, but when I do this, in the future, I'm actually going to leave the elastic in if I do the same cut, because I made more work for myself here than necessary, since the elastics were already holding my sections and parts at the angles that I wanted. So holding my section flat between my middle fingers, doing my best to stay at the 45-degree angle, I pull the section straight back until I have reached the point where I want to make my cut. And besides directing my hair at 45 degrees, I also want the cut itself to be at 45 degrees. So I'm going to use my fingers to guide that by tilting them to a 45-degree angle and then bringing the whole section straight forward. I angle my shears down my hand and cut right in line with the direction of my fingers. And then I'm going to clean up this little runaway strand here. And that is one section down, and I just kind of am trying to relax it and separate my curls a bit before making cuts on the next section. And my hair is already starting to dry out, so I am just going to end up spraying some water in my hand and applying it to the section. And when I pull out the elastic, I'm trying to keep my sections in the same general direction. The elastic was already holding them. Again, next time I do this, I will leave the elastics in. Notice too, I'm really only cutting the damaged ends. About 1.5 inches to just under 2 inches is all that I'm removing at one time. Okay, first quadrant down. Checking lengths before moving on and cleaning up some. So you can see outside of like so many reasons why you probably shouldn't cut your own hair. It's just a lot of work. I don't mind. I like to do this kind of thing for myself. I prefer to do it myself. That's just me though. I don't recommend anybody do what I do ever. Okay, so here I am using a strand from the mid quadrant to guide where I make my cut in the top quadrant. And remember, the direction I am cutting is just straight up at 90 degrees. And I'm trying to relax my curls before making the cut here. Again, it didn't exactly work because of the way I sectioned my hair first. This is a curly cut technique that totally holds merit though if you're being cut by a pro. I watch this back and it's cringe sometimes because I'm nitpicking all the mistakes I made, but this totally worked out. I'm actually very happy and I did learn a lot from this process. Okay, so now you can really see the shape, how it's meant to look, and it's really, I'm pretty sure, meant to be worn like where the whole thing like frames and rounds your face, like almost like bangs or fringe here. But I don't wear my hair with a bang. This is all gonna get swept to the side for me. But I did want you to see the shape and how it's supposed to look at this point. This is generally what you're going for, and all I'm doing here now is there are maybe even some strands that you can't see, but I can, and I'm just cleaning things up, making sure my edges look how I want them to before I actually bring that last section in the back completely forward and then trim it up to meet the rest of the layers. And I know you can't see the cuts that I'm making, but these are just little tiny insignificant cuts to the edges just to kind of make sure everything's even. See, I'm going to pull myself back here so you can see. These are the tiniest little cuts I'm making. I could have left it here because really it looks great, but I still wanted more of a change, a little bit more lift even. So I actually went a little bit shorter. I did some more trimming and shaping, and I'm gonna cut away from my voiceover here and let the on-camera me explain this. So my hair is definitely the type of curly that when it dries out, it gets much, much fuller. The water's keeping it pretty weighted down at the moment. But if you noticed when I was going through the cut sequence that, you know, my ends were drying out very quickly. So I just, once I had the cut all done, I went and put this treatment in my hair, got it wet, and I did some, you know, kind of like shaping little clips here and there, which I probably should have done on camera, but I'll explain more once this is dry and I come back. So here's how it looks from the front, from the sides, and this is what you should be going for. And you can clip this down here so you don't, I personally like it the way it looks, but so you can see from the back. There you go. I will see you when it's dry and finished. So here it is, y'all, the final reveal. I absolutely love it. And a few tips, I'm not gonna lie. You're gonna want to style your hair and let it dry, and then go through and you know, clip away any curls or pieces that kind of, you know, just look out of place. You'll know what I mean when you see I maybe should have done some more filming or recording rather to show, you know, kind of the touch-up process that I did, but this is it. This is the end result. I got exactly what I'm looking for. There's more bounce, there's more lift, there's definitely more curl definition. It's way shorter than I've been in a long time, but there might be some things that I would have done differently. Maybe I'll do the cut again and record it in the future. I'll definitely be cutting my hair like this again. I really like the way this turned out, and I hope you did too. Real quick, I want to also do like a spin around and show you how it looks all the way around. So we got all kinds of volume and lift and bounce going on here, and I love it. It's so fun. And here's what it looks like from the back. If you should happen to be brave enough or know a little bit more than me and want to try this out, make sure you tag me in your results because I would love to see how it looks on you. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Okay, y'all, we've made it to the end of another video, and if you're still here, you deserve an award. Make sure you check out my link tree where you can find the link to merch for nobody, as well as follow me on my other social media platforms. And as always, if I manage to entertain you, make sure you hit the like button, comment down below, subscribe, and smash the notification bell so that you know when my next video drops. Until then, bye.